Welcome to Veteran Resource Podcast, where you will meet nonprofit organizations focused on improving the lives of veterans and their family members. Here is your host, Jeremy Paris.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 16 of the Veteran Resource Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Paris, and I hope that everybody out there had a wonderful and safe 4th of July. I know I did. Today's episode, we are going to be breaking some new ground here on the podcast because instead of just one guest, we have three. We have Peter Guidry, Kelley Guidry, and also Ron the Admiral McGee from ForgottenNotGone. Before we get into that, I just wanted to go over a few more of the reviews that have been coming in. The Real JB81 says, inspiring. As a fitness coach, I sometimes struggle with the workouts. Listening to these incredible stories sheds light on how good we have it. Thanks, Jeremy, for all who you are helping through this show. And Bill Nowicki says, great idea for a show. I was tired of looking at outdated websites and trying to figure out what resources were available for veterans. This podcast is an entertaining way to provide great information for veterans. Keep it up, Jeremy. And Anne at WW Entrepreneur says, a must listen for vets. What a great podcast. I am not a veteran, and I enjoy every minute of it. I will share this with all of the vets in my life. Thank you so much for all of these great reviews. And if you haven't left a review yet, I invite you to go over to veteranpodcast.com/iTunes, where you can leave a review, and I will be reading it on a future episode of the podcast. ForgottenNotGone.org is dedicated to helping save veterans and their families from the destruction of suicide. Feeling alone, forgotten, and abandoned causes 22 veterans a day to take their own lives in the United States. ForgottenNotGone.org is committed to taking responsibility for helping our service members who were not lost at war but forgotten at home make a decision to live through emotional, physical, and spiritual activities. All right, let's jump right into the interview. Peter, Kelley, Ron, welcome to the Veteran Resource Podcast. How you doing today?
We're doing pretty good, Jeremy, but we promise to get even better.
Outstanding. So I wanted to get a little bit of your backgrounds, but before we do, let's see. Peter, can you give me a little background on just kind of a brief outline on what the Forgotten Not Gone organization is all about?
Well, Forgotten Not Gone is a 501c nonprofit organization, and we're dedicated to helping to save the lives of veterans and their families from suicide. 22 veterans commit suicide daily, and a lot of that has to do with veterans tend to isolate. And so we provide the physical resources to get our veterans out of the house and out of the isolation through recumbent trikes as one form of therapy.
Outstanding. Okay, and now let's get a little bit of backstory. I think we'll start with Kelley. Kelley, can you give me a little backstory on kind of who you are and what life was like for you going all the way up into the start of the organization?
Okay, I am the founder of the organization, and my military background, I actually met my husband in Italy, in Aviano. I went into the military in 1997, and I was security forces. So I was a cop, and cool. For about 4.5 years. And then we got stationed at Nellis Air Force Base, and I was also a cop out here, which was the weapons storage area. Did a little law enforcement, and then I cross-trained into vehicle maintenance for Red Horse. And Red Horse is kind of like the prime beef of the organization. So if we go to war or whatever, we are the first to go in and build things up, civil engineering. So.
Oh, nice.
And when we got out, we just kind of went through some personal, issues. You don't get that much transition assistance when you get out. And, as most veterans know, it's not as easy as going to another job. When you don't work in the military anymore, that was a way of life for us. So we kind of floundered for about 10 years. And I was working at the IRS, but I was, in a really bad place. After seeing my husband deteriorate and We lost our house. A lot of things happened. And we just came to a point where we really couldn't take it anymore. And I think I was trying to kill myself slowly through some bad habits. So,
Peter, what about you? What about your background?
Well, it was the same thing. I was stationed in Aviano, Italy, Air Force veteran. I came to Las Vegas when we got cross-trained at Nellis Air Force Base here, and I ended up getting medically separated in 2002. And so, same thing, went through a lot of personal, negative things that happened to me over the years after leaving the military. And just until we started this organization, going on, 3 years now?
yes.
3 years. It wasn't until this organization that I started getting my life together. Now, we have a safe place to live. Things are going well, and we have a new opportunity and new lease on life. And just grateful to be alive right now.
Excellent. And you and Kelley got out of the military around the same time?
A year apart.
Yeah.
I got out in 2003 and Peter got out in 2002.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay, Ron, we haven't heard from you yet. Let's hear your backstory.
Well, my story is a little bit different. I went in the military through the RTC program at university and went to the pilot training program. And I ended up flying F-4s in Vietnam and flew A-10s. And I got out after 12 and a half years and went to the airlines. And so I flew with them until I retired. But after that, I ended up going through a divorce and some other issues too. And I moved here to Las Vegas. And I didn't really know anyone here, and I really kind of felt, like you're pretty much isolated. And I met Peter in the building, and we talked a little bit, and he told me about his bikes, and one thing led to another. And it's amazing how people with military background and veteran stuff, really go bend over backwards to help each other out, and it's kind of given me something to look forward to. And you go riding the bikes downtown and everything, and it turned everything around for me here too.
Oh, that sounds great. That is quite a different backstory. And so, what led to the starting of Forgotten Not Gone?
Well, we went to the war-related illness clinic. My husband suffered some pretty heavy physical disabilities, and I took a week off of work, and we went to the war-related illness clinic, which is in Palo Alto. And it's there where they have specialists in every field that you're going through, and they try and diagnose what's wrong with you. What do you have? And after that week, they gave their evaluation of what they think he needed to get better, or kind of what was wrong with him or how it could help him. So we came back to Vegas excited, and the VA would not comply with anything. And one of the things that they suggested for his therapy was a recumbent trike. He has bilateral knee damage and some back issues with spasms, and they said it was the best way to kind of get him out of the isolation, but still increase his physical therapy as far as the recumbent being the back cradles, and it's great for the knees because of how they do the suspension. It's different from a regular bike. And also his mobility issues, it's better than a two-wheel bike, so it's a three-wheel trike, so it makes it really stable for him. They buy these bikes for almost anyone when they get it prescribed to them. But for whatever reason, the VA here in Nevada did not want to purchase the bike. And so we spoke with Harry, Senator Reed, and I guess they wrote him a letter, and he said he fully didn't understand why they wouldn't purchase the bike, but he was going to stand behind the VA. So long story short, we went to Utah, and we looked at the bikes ourselves, and Utah Trikes gave us a wonderful deal on the bike so that I could get a smaller version of the bike as well, so I could ride with my husband. And after a couple of months, of him riding by himself, he began to become the same person I married, over 16 years ago. And I was amazed. Like, he started to make eye contact. He was talking to people. He made friends, like with Ron, he knew almost everyone in the building, and I was surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, he was riding downtown. He was talking. His anxiety level was going down. If he was agitated, he would ride the bike, and it would, take away his anxiety. And most of all, it was physically exhausting to him. He was getting a couple of hours of sleep at night now, and that was very rare for him. He would stay up all night with insomnia, and, because he was in a lot of pain. And so we just kind of sat down and we thought to ourselves, you know what, if this does this much good for you, every single veteran who needs it should be available. It should be available to them, regardless of whether they can afford it or whether the VA is going to do it or not. And that's pretty much how we came up with the idea to have the bikes available 24/7 for veterans, whether the VA was going to do it or not. We were going to make it happen.
So let me just go back, because there was a couple of good points that were made here, and I wanted to kind of go back and touch on them. You said that the doctor prescribed the recumbent bike, and
Correct.
yet the VA still didn't want to purchase it?
That's correct, sir.
That doesn't seem to make sense.
Exactly. That's how we felt.
Okay. And Peter, at that point, how often were you riding the recumbent bike?
Just literally just throughout the week, a couple times a week. I would go day and night. What was helpful, especially when I was living downtown, is a few times, if you look on our YouTube channel, you can see there's a video at 3 a.m. that of me riding a trike, and I'm just by myself. But I'm just so grateful to have the physical tool now to be able to not have to worry about the insomnia. You know, they're trying to give me Ambien and a lot of hard medicine, and that stuff still wasn't effective. And so now I have a physical tool, being the recumbent trike, where it doesn't matter. We have lights on there, so I can be seen at nighttime, but it just gives me a chance just to get out the isolation and, not worry about the physical challenges or immobility issues that I have.
So you were only riding it a 2 or 3 times a week, and it was still giving you great results, and as your wife said, bringing you back to who you were back before you guys got married. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was the first time that, again, I tend to isolate because I'm in a lot of pain. And now with the bikes, it gives me the physical ability to not have to, worry about it. The bikes, just the way they are, with all the handicap features on there. Now we even have electric assist as well on there, Falco motor battery system. So if you push the actual the throttle, the actual bike would go up to 20 miles an hour by itself. And so this is helpful when I go downtown. I take some hills. You're going 20, 30 miles an hour down the hill, and just all that aggression, all that depression just seems to go away. But now having the electric assist, I can physically, make it up the hill now, back up. Before I get down the hill, I'm stuck.
Yeah. That does sound like it would be very helpful, very helpful. And so so I'm trying to get the feel for this. So then you were going out there, you were on the bike, and you realized the positive effects that it was giving to you. And from there, you said every other veteran out there that's having these issues that I'm having should be able to do the same thing. Is that correct?
Yes. And, also another veteran I'm very close with that rides with us all the time. He was in initially too, when Kelley wasn't around, he would ride with me. So it was just incredible to be able to have, a partner to be able to ride with, somebody like-minded, as well as going through his own personal challenges. But instead of us, just talking about it, complaining about it, we have an option now to just get out there and do something about it. And you're literally just having fun. So you don't realize you're exercising. And the bikes, because of the recumbent trikes, they go, 3 times the distance as a regular bicycle. For every time you pedal the recumbent trike, it just keeps rolling. So again, it's just it feels so good just to get outside. And I wasn't used to being around a lot of people, and being that we're downtown Las Vegas and people have never seen the way the bikes look, and they don't know that they're actually bicycles. People would always stop us and want to take pictures and be so kind to us. So I was forced to start learning how to be around people, because again, even though I had a lot of anxiety or fear to be around everybody, because they were so kind to me and taking pictures and just wanted to, be next to me, it helped me start the recovery process and work on some of the mental challenges I have.
I see. And on the website, I don't know who wants to field this question, but on the website, I saw that you have 3 key channels that you guys concentrate on. Could you give me a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, well, the emotional being the first one. Again, we understand, because we are veterans. We understand how other veterans have a lack of resources. And so having that compassion and just being there for our fellow veterans, when they come over here, we don't have to talk about all your personal information and why you're feeling upset or you're suicidal. We could just go ride the bike. And so I think it feels comfortable and it feels good to be around like-minded people who just don't hold things against you. And so that's part of the emotional. Having the physical is physically getting on the bikes and riding. Now that we're riding, now we can actually open up to some of those things. Hey, I was having some issues with my wife today, or, I'm having this issue or that issue. Being actually on the recumbent trikes and riding allows us to physically get stronger, which is going to allow us to mentally get stronger. And then on the last thing is spiritual. The spiritual aspect. We all come from different backgrounds and different religious backgrounds, nationalities. But we have a place that you can be comfortable, whatever your background is. That's your own personal business. There, we don't have a certain doctrine that we're describing, but personally, we do believe in a higher power on ourselves, and that's why we do what we do. But other people have different opinions. But it's just good be around other people that you can feel comfortable around. You can be yourself, and it doesn't matter what type of background or nationality or religious organization you belong to. There's a safe place here at Forgotten Not Gone, and we can get out of here and ride on the recumbent trikes throughout Las Vegas, and that's going to help us with our mental and physical challenges that we may be suffering through.
And Ron, do you ride the recumbent trike as well?
I do. Whenever I can, and Peter calls me, we went out quite a bit, at least a couple times a week, probably also, when we were in the building and he was downtown. And it was amazing riding. It just, the feeling that everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody sees the bike, like I said, it doesn't look like a bike. So everyone wants to know, well, what is that? What are you doing? And he has the fact that 22 veterans kill themselves every day on the side of the bike. And so you get to talk to people, about the issue and bring it to the forefront, which is what the whole thing's about also. So, and it's like amazing riding because everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to look at the bikes and see what's going on. So it really does get the word out. And it's great exercise. It's a lot of fun. You have the horns on it and everybody honks the horns, we high five people going by. It's actually fantastic.
Yes. Now I've seen some recumbent bikes out here around me in Maryland, and I've never felt like I wanted to go up and start talking to these people. But I did watch the video with your trikes, and those would definitely make me want to go up and start talking to you and find out more about what was going on, because those are awesome looking.
Thank you.
And that reaction, what you're saying, is what's helping us to deal with anxiety issues or aggression issues, because people are so kind and they just honestly want to know. I've never seen anything like that. What are you guys doing? They're taking pictures with you, with their children and all that. So again, this is just absolutely incredible. This is something that the Veterans Administration has never taken into consideration, just that social interaction. That's therapy right there. These recumbent bikes are therapy on wheels for us.
It definitely sounds like it. How did you guys get the paint jobs for those?
Well, we had them wrapped, and just recently we had 3M and also Green Valley Window and Tint. They just donated a complete wrap and install for our truck that we have, and we transport our bikes around town with it. They also put on the wrap with another organization as well, the 3M wrap on all of our trikes and our trucks.
That's very cool. And for the listeners out there, I am going to have some pictures and videos out on the show notes, and I'll tell you about that during the outro. But can you kind of help describe a little bit for the listeners out there what these bikes look like?
Well, they're OD green, which is a tribute to our Forgotten Not Gone veterans, and they have little rivets on there, and the front of the nose looks like a P-40 plane, and that's what is modeled after. So when they're seeing these trikes, they see the OD green colors, the P-40, shark teeth on the front of it. That's something that we remember from our grandfather's generation, Vietnam era, those things like that. The OD green colors, the P-40 planes, and these are all positive memories that people have. So when they see us riding the bikes, it jars that personal memory of maybe their grandfathers or their fathers that served in a previous generation, And that's just so incredible, the way that they look and what gives us the attention to why people want to even speak to us.
And have you guys joined any, like, sometimes they'll do marathons and they'll have the bikes in there, or parades or anything like that?
Well, we debuted in the 2013 Veterans Day Parade, and we've been in we've been in the parade every single year since then. So the first year we debuted, it was actually just the two bikes. So my husband and the other his friend that he rides with, and Vets for Vets, and myself and a young lady who used to work with me at the IRS. She's also a veteran. We passed out cards. But then this time we had 24 all together, and they had their children with them. I mean, it was really a beautiful sight. And then this year we're looking to get 100. We're looking for it to be very, very huge. It kind of just spiraled into this huge thing where Forgotten Not Gone is just not about bikes anymore. You spoke about the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. What we've learned through helping our veterans is that this is actually going to be a place for healing and wellness. The VA offers a pain pill and a psych pill, and that's pretty much your only choice. That's the only thing you get to take advantage of. And really the only reason that exists is because they're not giving our veterans an alternative. They're not giving them a chance to know about acupuncture, colonic therapy, biking, hiking, something that's other than the pain pill and the psych pill. So we want to be that core support group where you get the information and eventually, have the center up and running to where we have those things here available for you. I mean, we do have the PTSD meetings, we have the AA meetings, NA meetings. This is Sin City, so it's very easy to find something destructive to do versus getting well. So, soon we'll have, the colonics up and running, the float tanks and sensory deprivation, but they don't know about it. So they can't help themselves with what they don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of the other things I think it's important to point out when you talk about the emotional, physical, and spiritual is that it also is good for the family. Peter mentioned about, he withdrew even from his own wife and things like that. But people withdraw from your own family, you turn into yourself and into destructive nature. But he has bikes here for kids, even 2 bikes for that. So you can come out on a vet and ride and strengthen the family again, because the kids enjoy riding a bike, but they're doing it with their parent. Even if you're disabled, with the electric assist on the bikes, someone even who's an amputee can still ride a bicycle and ride it with the family. So it just brings them back out again and strengthens everything.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know you had them for the children as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And are they all decked out like the big ones are as well?
No, they're just the regular recumbent trikes, but to be honest with you, they're sturdy little bikes. I like them better than the other regular trikes. I got in there, my hips almost couldn't get out, but I just had them. They just look so nice and cute.
but they are OD green, the same color. All the bikes have the same OD green finish on them, so they look identical to the bigger adult trikes where they're now they can have their parents and the children all in military formation looking the same and recovering.
Oh, that would be an awesome photo opportunity. I'd love to get a shot having them flying in formation like that.
Oh yeah, we have a couple of photos and we can get them over to you.
Yeah,
that would be great.
On our Facebook page, we just posted it, but we were in the Las Vegas Review Journal, the View magazine portion that just came out today. And they actually, did a video on us, so you can see that on our website where you do see it was actually one of the veterans and his grandchildren were here, and they were just all riding in that same military formation.
And also one of the veterans and his 5-year-old daughter, and he said she maneuvered that bike better than she does the 2-wheel bike. I mean, she was really doing a good job on this bike, and they, their relationship had kind of, fell apart a little bit, and just to see them get off the bike and high five each other, and he made a point of telling her what a really good job she did, and now she looks forward to riding every single time they come over here. We have to try and pull her back a little bit. It's 120 degrees. She's like, I don't care. I want to ride down the street, but that's time that she knows she gets to bond with her father. And I mean, you couldn't pay me enough for that. I mean, just for that alone, it's worth it.
Yeah, and that's one thing you mentioned earlier was that you are in Sin City and there's a lot of destructive vices there, but it is also an amazing place. You've got such incredible scenery. You've got great weather most of the time. And so I could see being out there, you guys have a lot of days where you could be out there riding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. And are you guys local to Nevada, or are you expanding out from there?
We're going to expand out from here, but this is absolutely ground zero. Right now, Nevada is twice the national average. So, this is ground zero to kind of get a handle on the
twice the national
suicide.
Suicide, twice the average of national average of suicides in Nevada.
Gotcha.
But yeah, eventually we want to, start opening up in other places. But other chapters. But yeah, this is ground zero for right now.
Yeah, that would be a great idea to have chapters in different locations and just kind of go off the same processes you guys have.
Absolutely.
That's our first goal when we're able to accomplish getting up to 144 trikes. We can start, branching out to other feeder markets like, San Diego. We can go down there and hang out with the Camp Pendleton Marines, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, those different feeder, Arizona as well. But once we have the success here, we just want to take the same concept and start going to the different, feeder markets and eventually to national.
Sounds great. And that kind of takes me right into my next question that I was going to ask is, what do you see for the future? So is there anything else that you wanted to speak on for what you guys see for the future?
Yeah, well, we're excited about the future to really turn this into a health and wellness center. The bikes is just the icebreaker to get us to be able to even want to talk to each other, just because they look like the P-40 plane that starts a conversation. But eventually, after the veteran is riding, we have other things that we can help them with. Some of the things that's a difficult conversation to have that we don't even take into consideration, for instance, is a lot of the medicine that the veterans, start to take because of their disabilities or injuries leads to a lot of constipation. So a lot of them not even using a bathroom, not even weekly. And that's a hard conversation to have a grown man with. He doesn't want to speak on that type of subject, but having the health and wellness center set up, we're going to be able to offer those free services like colonics, massage therapy, acupuncture, things of that nature. And so we're just excited right now. We want to be able to buy a building in the next 2 years into where we can incorporate all this stuff on top of the bikes in there. So having something 24 hours to go, 7 days a week for the veterans, but something positive to go to. Every time you come here, you're physically and mentally getting stronger. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that really makes sense. It goes hand in hand with being healthy. You're riding a bike. That's just the beginning. Now, why not tie in all of these other things that you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah. And that's something else I was thinking is that a lot of depression that veterans are feeling is combated when you start to get active. But also, I think that the types of things that you're eating could play a part in that as well.
That's a huge.
Absolutely. Yeah. That I really helped Peter with that whole issue through juicing. But that's not a regular conversation that you can just kind of jump into, when people are not even active. But yeah, juicing kind of changed his life. And just having this avenue of the bikes has given us an opportunity to kind of let the veteran know what we did to pull ourselves, out of the state of depression that we were in and to show them a better way. But absolutely, diet is affected by every single thing, and if you go to the VA or you go to wherever you're going and they're just constantly shoving, poison down your throat, nothing's ever going to get better.
Right. And that's something that I notice myself. I'm very active, but I go through these phases, usually in the wintertime here on the East Coast, where it's cold and I don't want to go outside. I'm miserable. I just want to be someplace warm. But I'll go through these cycles where I'm not working out as much. I'm not getting out and running and doing all of these active things. And during that time period, I seem to crave bad food. Like, I come home from work, I'm tired, and I'll go and get a pizza, and I'll end up eating half of the pizza by myself, just kind of sitting here. But when I'm active, when I start getting active again, I instinctively crave, like you're saying with the juicing. I'll start juicing, not because I say I want to get healthy, so I'm going to juice. I'm just working out, and my body's like, ooh, I want to get some kale today. I want to get some beets and throw those in a drink.
Right. That makes perfect sense. And that's what most people don't get. I mean, I said if we could find a way to bottle endorphins, we'd all be rich, because that's what it does. The physical activity, that's why we have the 3 tiers on our, on the website and kind of what we do. If you physically get better, it will start to produce, mentally, you'll get better, and that's going to help you overall spiritually anyway. But yeah, the more you work out, the more your body is going to crave what it needs versus what it wants. So you're going to want that kale because now you feel you need magnesium, or you need, whatever it may be. Your body inherently it's going to crave what it needs.
Right. Going back to the bikes for a second. So your organization, do they rent them out, or people can come and they're getting the bikes from you and taking them home, or how does that work?
Well, all they have to do is just schedule an appointment to come down with over here to our health and wellness center that we have. They're free of charge. What we do is we go riding with the veterans. We have different scheduled events, and we're almost done with a complete website redesign that we're having right now. So we're just going to make it a lot easier for them just to schedule an appointment online. Just as you go to the VA, you schedule an appointment to go to the psych doctor. The only challenge is you only can see those people 3 times, every 3 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Here, all you call us up, or you pop by the office, and we, like I said, we have 7 adult trikes, 2 children trikes. So as long as we have them here, you can go riding with us. It's always free. We don't need any money from our own veterans. But we also, what you were talking about earlier about being stuck inside when the winter months, we have a sports craft or a trike trainer. And so you put that on the back of any bike that we have, and allows the veteran to be able to pedal in place. So, you can actually pedal in place right here in the office as well. So even when it's raining or the weather's a little too hot, you can still, the same trike, you can pedal indoors.
Oh, that's great.
Right. And like Peter said, we're going to have scheduled events. We do have some set up, where it'll just be women's groups that, women veterans get it very slighted. They don't talk about it often, but there's a lot of things that we don't want to discuss in front of men because they might be the reason behind that trauma. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to introduce that are strictly for women, but we have the rides that are just going to be at Red Rock, and they can plug into them that way. Because we're limited on the bikes we have, it's going to be first come, first serve, but there'll be a calendar of events, and you just go in there, see where you want to plug in, sign in your name, and, get your bike locked in, and we'll see you and get
Excellent.
the ride done.
Very cool. Very cool. And one last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the final 3 questions is the videos. Now, I saw a couple videos on the site. You guys have a YouTube channel, and when I was watching this video, it didn't seem like an infomercial or a standard video that you would see on an organization's site. It was more like I was watching something on Netflix. It was very good production. And when it was done, I was like, where's episode 2? I gotta, this is a series, right? Can I keep watching this?
Yeah, you were saying that you saw one of our student films was called Side Effects, and then we have a follow-up as well that's called VA Pill Pushers. And so we wanted to visually show, our proud supporters in our local community what we're going through, and really put a vision that they can see that why us veterans need the help that we do. The VA is not going to help us because they don't provide alternative forms of therapy. You have all the statistics and all that as well at the end of the video. But yeah, that was us using our post 9/11 GI Bill as well. So our school is free of charge, and we get a small stipend to be able to, as far as housing as well, to be able to survive going to school. But that's the unique thing about it, that we are post 9/11 veterans, and that's why we have such an admiration for our veterans that served prior to us. I actually have benefits and I have a better life because of the help that the VA will give me. But because they served prior to 2001, they don't have those same benefits that we do. So that's why, again, we call them forgotten, not gone, because they forgot, especially about our Vietnam era veterans. They're not able to go to school free of charge like we are just because we served after 2001.
Right, right.
And the videos were made to keep you wanting more. So there will be more Fat Cat.
Oh, good.
When you see VA pill pushers, you'll know exactly who that is.
Okay.
So yeah, there'll be more of the same characters in there, and we're just going to keep going from that aspect. It'll all fall into place for you when you see the VA pill pushers.
Excellent. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to embed one of those videos in the show notes so that people can see that and can follow it to your YouTube channel.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, and is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we get into the final 3 questions?
Yes, our next mission that we're having is this coming Thursday. Did you want to speak about that now?
Sure.
Yeah, this coming Thursday, July 9th, we're going to be throwing out the first pitch at the Las Vegas 51s baseball team. We have one of our veterans, Mike McCracken, who played the role of in the VA pill pushers, Fat Cat. He's going to be throwing out the first pitch at 4:45 p.m. That's at Cashman Field here in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas 51s baseball game. So they're also kind enough to be able to donate some product for us that we're going to have a raffle at the game. The 51s really took care of us, and they're also giving us booths to be able to set up and display our bikes as well. So this coming Thursday, July 9th at 4:45, Forgotten Not Gone will be throwing out the first pitch, Las Vegas 51s baseball game.
Outstanding. And this is actually going to go live the day before. So this is going to go live on Wednesday. So hopefully there'll be some people that will hear it and can get out there.
All right, and they can also, go to the website or go to our Facebook, which is the easiest to be able to click on the link. But they can also try the link, which is bit.ly/22vets, VETS. And once again, that's bit.ly/22VETS. And that's a discounted link for them to be able to get a special price on the tickets. And also just utilize promo code Forgotten. And then they'll receive also, in addition to that, a free Las Vegas 51s baseball hat. That's a way to be able to purchase a ticket and support us and check us out at the game as well. And it's $1 beer night.
Wow, can't beat that.
And it's a double header, so it makes it easier and it's affordable to bring the whole family out.
I might have to buy a plane ticket. Okay, and I will make sure that I put the link, bit.ly, the bit.ly link, and the discount code as well in the show notes for people to follow to get that discount and get the hat as well. Okay, and I think we're ready to jump into our final 3 question. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, who would you like to hear on a future episode of Veteran Resource Podcast?
Well, I'd love to be able to hear from the Veterans in Politics organization here in Las Vegas. They're doing a lot of wonderful things. There's a guy by the name of Richard is the actual president of here, the Nevada chapter, and Steve Stanson, the actual international president. But a really good organization that's getting into the different politicians and let them know the different issues and resources that as veterans need to be made aware of.
Excellent. Okay, question number 2. What upcoming project has you fired up right now?
Well, as it's fired up is the actual Veterans Day Parade. This is going to be our 3rd year, and we already have, let's say we started off with 2 trikes, and now we have 9 as we're speaking today. Well, we're fired up to be able to see how many people are going to show up. Our goal is to have 100, and we're looking to get a few more bikes before the Veterans Day Parade. So we're really excited about that and going to start rolling out our marketing campaign in the beginning of August for that Veterans Day Parade.
Outstanding. Okay, question number 3. Here's the brain stretcher. If you woke up tomorrow and you found out that somebody made an anonymous donation of $10 million to your organization, what would you do with the money?
Well, I would buy this property right across the street with 38 acres over here, and we'd pave it out and make a nice track for us veterans to be able to ride these recumbent tracks with themselves and their families without having to worry about being on the streets and getting ran over. We would also be able to have all the different alternative forms of therapy, be able to pay the staff as well to be able to do things like massage therapy, acupuncture. We'd have the physical resources in to be able to pay these people that work in these specialties a salary, so we can not have to charge our veterans at all. So that'd be a huge blessing to allow the veterans to come in here and have everything free of charge for them.
And also, it'd also be nice because we could set up the locations like we talked about earlier in different parts of the city and be able to branch out to some other areas, probably than just Las Vegas. Right now, since it's North Las Vegas, anybody can come, but for some people who live in the South or East or West, it's a little bit more difficult. But be able to branch out and have a location in each of those areas and start to branch out, that's the eventual goal.
Excellent. So if anybody out there happens to have $10 million and you're looking for a great place to put it, you just heard what Forgotten Not Gone can do with the money. Sounds outstanding. And so for that person or for anybody else out there that is looking to donate or to find out more about your organization, where should they go?
Well, we have a GoFundMe campaign that's still active right now. They can go to GoFundMe.com/ForgottenNotGone. They can also just do a direct donation, which we don't get charged all the fees with GoFundMe charges. Just make a donation at PayPal, and our email associated with the PayPal donation is trikes, TRIKES, at ForgottenNotGone.org as well. So trikes at ForgottenNotGone.org. That's the PayPal link that they can. We also, on our website, there's two different links for eBay and Amazon, to where all you have to do is just click on those links and make a purchase. And for instance, Amazon donates 0.05% back to us, or whatever your purchase that you made. But that doesn't cost you a penny at all. By you just shopping at Amazon will benefit our organization as well.
Outstanding. And what about getting in touch with you guys directly?
All right, they can go to our website, and it has all of our contact information, which is ForgottenNotGone.org. At the very bottom of our website, you have the social media links like Facebook, YouTube. It has our address down there as well. Or you can call us directly at area code 702-706-5777. As well, you can reach us via email, support@ForgottenNotGone.org. And that's the easiest way, as a lot of times we're on our bicycles. We're not able to answer the phone right away. But you can always reach us through social media, on our website, directly, or by email fast.
Excellent. And I will make sure that I put links to all of those and everything else that we talked about today out on the show notes page, so everybody will be able to get to it nice and easily.
Yeah, and if you could email us, I'll forward you the actual little press release that we have for this event, but it has a lot of those different, all the links and everything that we also mentioned.
Excellent. I sure will. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. I learned a lot about your organization.
We appreciate your time, and we thank you for not forgetting about us veterans.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you all for listening to this week's episode with Peter, Kelley, and Ron. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm pretty big on physical activity, and that's why I really like organizations like Forgotten Not Gone that are using it in a positive way to help bring down the amount of suicides here in the United States. There were a lot of links that were thrown out during the interview, and I know some of you are listening to this while you're driving or working out or cleaning the house or something like that, and you weren't able to write those down. Don't worry about it. I made it nice and easy. You just go to the show notes page at veteranpodcast.com/016, and you'll see all of those links. And I'm also going to throw in a couple of those videos that we were talking about during the interview. I think you'll really enjoy them. That's all we have for this week's episode. I'll see you guys in episode 17.